Donald Trump is already one of the richest men ever to serve as US president. And according to anti-corruption campaigners, he's become even richer while in office.
His wealth has grown by the billions, of which I believe around 1.4 billion of it came from cryptocurrency interests.
That's Gary Kalman, director of Transparency International US. He argues the issue isn't just Trump's burgeoning wealth, but whether a sitting president should profit from industries affected by decisions made in the White House. For Kalman, cryptocurrency is where those concerns become even more visible.
He's shaping an industry in which he is personally profiting from, and so one has to wonder, when there's conflicts like that, are the rules that are being set for the public in the best interest of the public, or is it in the best interests of those that are making the money off of it, including his own family?
Now, while all this has been unfolding, there's been a lot of discussion about the crypto sector in Washington, even as Trump and his family make huge sums of money from it. But how exactly are they profiting? First, let me give you a brief explanation about one of Trump's most high-profile crypto ventures.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Just before his inauguration, Trump launched his own meme coin. Millions of coins were sold to investors, generating hundreds of millions of dollars in sales and trading fees for the Trump-linked companies behind the project. The value of those coins has since dropped dramatically, but the Trump family already made its money through sales and trading fees.
I think the cryptocurrency debate right now is the biggest concern. We're talking about a multi-trillion-dollar market that he is heavily invested in, the bulk of it. I mean, just to put it in comparison, right? I believe that from his real estate interests in golf courses in the last year, he made $60 or $70 million. In the crypto business, he made $1.4 billion, or his family, I should say. That's an enormous, it's magnitudes larger than the rest of his empire. So that to us is currently the biggest problem and the most glaring gap in our laws.
So in plain and simple terms, Donald Trump, as President of the United States, is in a position to influence the rules that govern the crypto industry, while he and his family and friends also personally benefit from crypto ventures.
So yes, there's potentially a conflict of interest there. However, what we've also learned in the United States on this and on other types of issues is that we've largely relied on norms rather than laws and rules. That high-level officials have exempted themselves or put their assets in a blind trust.
It's time to stop here and explain what a blind trust is. It's where you give control of your assets to an independent manager. You and your beneficiaries are kept in the dark about what investments are bought or sold, stopping you from making decisions that could benefit your bank account. So, how have past presidents dealt with conflicts of interest?
George W. Bush came in and sold his interests in a baseball team here, a sports team, because he was going to be involved in regulating the sports leagues. Jimmy Carter, way back in the 70s, came in and he owned a peanut farm. He put that into a blind trust and sold it. So, because he was going to be dealing with agricultural policy. They did that voluntarily. There was no law requiring them to do that. President Trump and his family have not done that. And so we are beginning to realize that the laws that regulate our ethics for high-ranking officials do not extend to the president, vice president. People have known that. It's just not been exploited before in the way it is now. And so it creates that conflict, and that gap allows the president to exploit it.
So hang on a second. There's no legislation in place to prevent a US president from cashing in on his presidency? Perhaps the most surprising part of Kalman's argument is that many of the ethics restrictions Americans assume apply to the president actually don't. But is that something that could or should change in the future?
There are bills in Congress. There is a lot of discussion about extending ethics rules to the president and vice president, and importantly, their immediate families, because Trump could rightfully say that he's actually stepped away from his business, and so it's really his family that is running the business, and he's not involved. Obviously, there's questions about how that works in practice, and so therefore, I think it's widely agreed that any prohibitions or extension of the ethics rules need to include immediate family members. As of now, they have not passed, and so I think that will be a debate in the upcoming elections, and I think going forward, we'll see how the U.S. Congress responds.
Now, family is just one element in this debate. The broader concern is the growing influence of wealthy individuals like tech and AI bosses and large corporations over political decision making. So are we seeing the relationship between wealth and power change?
I don't want to minimize the fact that wealthy individuals have long had influence in our politics. This is not brand new. I think what is new is the scale of the investment, right? I don't think ever before we had someone like Elon Musk, who will be the world's first trillionaire, come in and have such a sway without, there was no appointment and process as we would normally have, approval from the Senate, a nomination for some cabinet position and an approval and review by the Senate. He just came in and was given carte blanche authority to move money around. And what we saw was a lot of cuts to programs that he didn't think were all that valuable, although, to be clear, contracts with his Starlink corporation did not get cut. So we're also seeing the administration look at a light touch regulation on AI at the same time that many of the largest investors in AI are contributing heavily to his library, to the our 250th anniversary, and other pet projects of the president.
So why does any of this matter? Kalman believes corruption isn't simply an ethical concern or political debate. It has real-world consequences.
If somebody bribes a building inspector and they turn a blind eye to shoddy construction, that building is going to fall down and kill people. Or if you ignore environmental laws that are trying to keep mining operations from contaminating the water that people drink, there's going to be an increase in health effects for the populations downstream, right? These are not sort of theoretical, we want people to be good because we just want people to be good. It is because corruption has proven to undermine quality of life and the ability of people to be healthy, survive, and thrive economically.
And for Kalman, the main concern isn't just the issue of conflict of interest. It's what happens when the institutions designed to detect and prevent corruption are weakened.
The architecture that we had built up over generations to respond to what everybody agreed was threats to fight fraud, corruption, criminal activity, and national security threats is slowly being dismantled to allow secret money to slosh once again through the United States and around the world. And that is a huge concern.
But if those safeguards are being weakened, can they be rebuilt?
The underlying laws are still in place. It's just the implementation, enforcement, and rulemaking has been severely damaged. So as of now, the underlying laws have been kept in place. And that is very significant because getting a divided Congress to pass a new law, if a law is repealed, is extremely difficult. The implementation of those laws, the rulemakings, the money that is going being diverted and dismantling, the enforcement mechanisms, that will take time. And I don't mean to underestimate the challenges, but that is easier to reverse as long as the underlying laws are kept in place.
What Kalman is saying is the laws are still in place, but the systems designed to enforce them are under pressure and weakened. As you've seen, what began as a debate about Donald Trump's wealth has become a broader discussion about democracy, accountability, and who the government is really working for. For Kalman, it depends on whether the United States strengthens its ethics rules and laws to prevent a further erosion in public trust of its politicians and institutions. He believes the damage can still be reversed. What do you think? I'm Pablo Foley-Elias. A big thanks to our guest, Gary Kalman, Director of Transparency International US, and of course our team here in Berlin. Producers Hannah Hummel, Olivera Zhivkovic, Leon Jutta, Stephanie Englath and Loni Mauro. So for me, I'll see you very soon.